What's up, guys? Jimmy your Chaos. Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about the Specialist Power Meter, the abilities and the power weapons, and how they are going to be balanced among game modes. A lot of people asked as soon as they saw these weapons and abilities, and they're like, well, how is that going to work in Search and Destroy? How is that going to work in Hardpoint and Domination? And up until this point, everybody just assumed that it would be the same for all, which would not be balanced because each game mode has its own pace, just its own way of going about it. And we have some information on this, and it actually comes from Dan Bunting directly from Treyarch, and he actually gives us some solid info that makes me feel like it's going to be okay. So everybody knows that you have earn rates for your power meter, and once you have it built up, then you have either access to your power weapon or your special ability. Whichever one you chose pre-lobby, you can only choose one or the other. And then when you activate it, it goes down either one of two ways. One, it just slowly goes down, or the other, if you're using it, it's going to use it in chunks, whether that be the ability or the power weapon. For an example, if you're using Outrider and you have the Sparrow, which is the compound bow, and you activate the Specialist power weapon, okay, so it starts to tick down by itself as you're moving around, but then you go and you start shooting the bow and you start shooting at people. It's going to take it down in bigger chunks as it would if it was just passively being there and you weren't using it. So either way, you're going to run out, but the more you utilize the ability or the power weapon, you're going to run out quicker. So the question is, how is this going to be reflected in different game modes? Fast game modes like Hardpoint, Domination, things like that. I would assume we're going to get pretty much what we saw, maybe a little fine-tuned with the type of gameplay we saw and got to play with at E3. On other game modes, it could be different. TDM could be a little different, but the big one everybody wants to know about is Search and Destroy. And Dan Bunting went on to say that the power meter is going to be much slower in Search and Destroy because it's more of a tactical game mode. They are going to make the earn rate be much longer, so it's going to take you more time and more kills and more assists, whatever things contribute to the earn rate. It's going to take longer. And their thought process with this is, for one side, it's esports. It's spectator entertainment, because what they want to happen is you spin the entire S&D and you get to round 11, and then everybody's built up these score streaks, not these score streaks, but these power abilities or power weapons, and then everybody unleashes them. And then you have all these different dynamics, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, you could be in a, let's say you're in a Call of Duty championship, an MLG championship, and it's round 11 Search and Destroy. Somebody's got Ruin, they've got his ability for Overdrive. Somebody has Seraph, and they've got the Annihilator ready to go, the high caliber revolver. It's going to make for some very, very interesting spectator entertainment. Now, also being said, we don't know how the pro scene is going to handle this, what they're going to ban, what they're not going to ban. But in the bigger sense, if all of those were available for the viewer, the spectator, it's going to be pretty cool to see what goes down. The tension is going to be really high because they spent all that time earning them, and then all hell breaks loose in like round 9, 10, or 11. So that's the thought right now, and they're really big on you feeling a loss when you get killed, because if you aren't aware, when you use a special ability or a power weapon, as soon as you activate it, if you die, it's gone. So you would have to start over. And there's also instances where if you get hit, it takes half the power meter down, and you have to earn it back up. So it's almost this give and take of when do I use it, when do I not. You have to strategize, you have to get the right feel for what game mode you're in, and it's going to open up a lot of dynamics. But for everybody worried about Search and Destroy, don't worry. They are going to make the power meter much slower. The earn rate is going to be much slower than it would be in a fast-paced game like Hardpoint or Domination or something like that. To get the specifics, I don't know yet, but Dan Bunting telling us that means that they are looking at each one of these from an individual standpoint, as opposed to just saying, here's your power meter, it's going to be the same for every game mode we give you. That's not going to be the case. The attention is in the details, and that's how they're looking at it. So I hope this cleared it up for you guys a little bit. Drop a like on the video. Let me know what you think should happen when it comes to Search and Destroy. How much slower do you think it should be? What other game modes do you think should be affected faster or slower? And I hope you guys have a great day.